Thanks for tuning in to the Diaphragm Dynasty. I'm back with another Behind the Mic edition of my podcast. And today, behind the mic, I will have Tyrese. Now, Tyrese is one of my favorite singers, just going back to the 90s. Now, he originated back in the 90s doing the Coca-Cola commercials when he's singing on the back of the bus and, you know, making appearances on Martin and different things. And you probably know him from the movie Baby Boy, and you definitely know him from the Fast and Furious movies, and you know him from the Transformer movie. I think just the first one, I believe. But nevertheless, he's a great R&B singer as well, not just an actor in Hollywood and what he focuses most of his time on now, and not so much the music, but he was one of the best R&B singers during his time, especially going, spanning all the way from the 90s to the early, well, to around the mid 2000s. So around 2005, 2006 is when his prime was. But he always had the star power, and he always had the voice for what they were looking for in a star. So, hailing from, Watts, California in the LA area, um, Tyrese always sung about love and positivity and love, and he gave you that 90s feel, and I believe his first album released in around 1998, but he always gave you that mid 90s feel, the love, and it wasn't about, incorporating hip hop like it is today or incorporating pop into your music. It was about giving you pure R&B, and you're going to love the lyrics, and you're going to definitely going to love the vocals. So he definitely gave you that whole package as far as giving you a superstar. And the acting came much later, but he figured that out as well. But he made appearances on soundtracks like The Best Man and Blue Streak soundtracks. Criminal Mind with Heavy D is one of my favorite songs from him. Just powerful voice. You could tell he grew up in the church, and he really grew up around people that emphasize the power of your voice, because he always had a powerful voice. Um, and then The Best Man I Can Be with Genuine RL and Case, um, a powerful group of brothers singing to a soundtrack about about marriage and just that unionship. But another great song that he had on the soundtrack. But he was in his prime around the time that he did the Baby Boy movie, which he was on the Baby Boy soundtrack as well. Um, we know that as a hood classic, whether it's with Snoop Dogg, Taraji P. Henson, and Ving Rhames, amongst others. But they had a song called Just a Baby Boy on there. And another great song, great video too, that if you bought the movie, that song came, or the video came with that movie. So that was huge for me back then, buying movies. I used to look for the singles, the videos for the singles on that same album. You don't really get that anymore when you buy movies. You used to always get those music videos for the songs. I mean, for the soundtracks, but you don't really get those anymore. It's not as common as much. But what I think I remember most about Tyrese as a singer is the one album that he had, the I Want to Go There album. Now, to me, that is his best album. Most people might say his first album, the Tyrese album, self-titled album, might be his best. But in my opinion, the I Want to Go There album was my favorite. And I remember going out to the record store buying this album. And I bought it mostly probably for two songs, but then I ended up loving so many other songs on the album. So Signs of Lovemaking was the best song that he put out on the album as a single, but he had a lot of great other singles behind it. But I want to say that Tyrese doesn't get credited for making astrology a big thing, especially in the urban communities. Astrology wasn't really talked about as much, but then after that song, a lot of people started talking about how good their signs was, what signs were bad. They were popularizing astrology, especially in urban communities, when it wasn't a big thing. But when Tyrese released this Signs of Love Making, everybody was talking about astrology, figuring out what their astrology sign was. They were going out trying to compare their astrology signs to their loved ones and people they cared about and things like that. So he did popularize astrology, in my opinion, and especially in the urban communities. But he didn't just have this song. He had that How You Gonna Act Like That on there. which the video had Taraji P. Henson, I believe, in it. Another excellent song. He was one of the best singers that gave out different scenarios for being in love and falling out of love and things like that. So he gave scenarios all the time, and he was one of the best singers to do that. And that was, so to speak, his persona or his story that or narrative that he carves out. Because I talk about that a lot in hip hop about every artist having a different narrative, whether they be the dope boy or whether they be, the backpack rapper, or whether they're, a rapper that sings about love like LL Cool J to some effects, which there's not a lot of artists like that anymore. But um Tyrese's persona was just simply giving you different scenarios from being in love and different scenarios that you have to get through as in a couple or as um in your union that you're going through. But he had phenomenal B-sides on this album. On Top of Me, another great one. If you haven't heard these songs, definitely go check them out. The I Want to Go There song, there was an album I Want to Go There, but on that album, it was a song called I Want to Go There. Phenomenal song, excellent writing. Another song, I Must Be Crazy, and then She Lets Me Be a Man. All of these are phenomenal songs that are on the album that are B-sides that didn't make it to be singles. That I Want to Go There song is definitely a song that should have been made into a single, but it probably wasn't suited for radio because of its sensuality and its content matter. So that definitely mattered back then, not so much as much now. They were just blocked out probably half of the song, which it's no purpose of putting that out if you can't put it out in somewhat its entirety. But great project. Um, Great singer in Tyrese. And if you haven't checked out his music, definitely check out his music. He gave us some definitely great hits. I just highlighted pretty much one album and a couple of songs from soundtracks, but he gave us a lot more phenomenal music than that. So definitely check out his catalog. And as always, until next time, I'll see you next time.